Since reviewing stuff has become somewhat of a trend and I need an excuse to make some videos, I've decided to make some video reviews of some of the tech that I've had for a while and just discover why it's getting old and dusty. To start off, first released in 1995 from Tiger Electronics, the handheld Lights Out game. I should explain before I begin that this particular Lights Out game is broken and sometimes the lights here and here, I actually can't remember where, but who cares, they don't normally turn on or they turn on really dimly, making playing the game impossible, but not explaining it. Anyway, here we go. Every time you turn it on you will hear this noise. The next thing you will hear is your family or friends telling you to turn the sound off. If you look at the buttons, you have a 5x5 grid of lights. If you like pressing buttons, you're going to love that. So you got the on-off, the start, the sound, the help, and the select. Pressing help while playing the game will tell you what the next best move is. Well, that only works a couple of times. And I think the rest of the buttons are self-explanatory. If I press select, you'll see that we have 3 modes, interestingly called A, B, and C. Kind of like the old Atari and NES games, not like today with your arcade mode and endurance and whatnot. Let's start with mode A, the main mode, if you can never guessed. The grid sort of lights up, well it would if it worked, and you press buttons. Every time you press a button, the button you press and the ones up, down, left and right to it turn on, if it worked. I don't think actually anywhere I can press it's going to make them all turn on, because it's that broken. And the idea of the game is to make all the lights turn off. Or out. Yeah. And I can't figure this out. Okay, I'm going to press select and go to mode B. Now, I couldn't remember what we were supposed to be doing in mode B, but I had a look on the internet, and I think I should call it, if you were going to give it a better name, hard mode, or survival mode, or bloody irritating mode. Exactly the same, except you only have a set amount of moves to make. I think that's why I couldn't remember what this mode was called, because when I was a child I was a lot more ignorant, and there was no way in hell I was going to do this. Oh, also I found out on the internet, apparently there are 5,000 puzzles on this mode. And there is no level select. Who has time to do 5,000 puzzles on the trot? Let's go to mode C. Mode C is create puzzle mode. Pressing all the buttons with your palm does not do much, but you can press all the buttons separately. Sham. Anyway, turning all the lights. Anyway, yes, anyway, mode C. Create puzzle mode. If you turn all the lights on, you can tell that the game isn't really solvable. Especially when it's not working. Right. There's not really much more I can say, apart from, if I go back to say, there's a strategy to solving the puzzles. Well, you see there's a light, and I think the other lights would be there and there. You press the lights below them and work your way down to the bottom. Holy crap! I did not expect that to work. Sometimes it doesn't work. Then if you get all to the bottom, let's try it again. I can't remember where the lights are. Yeah, if you get to the bottom, you're supposed to do something else, but I can't remember what, and, well, I didn't really think there was any point of memorising it if I couldn't actually play the game properly. Oh well. Well, turning that off. Okay, and I should now point out this isn't the only version of Lights Out that actually exists. There's also a cube version, which is a really complex cube. I have a 5p on me, by the way. There's a keychain. That's a keychain. It's a lot smaller as well. There's a deluxe version that lights up the... this version lights up in pluses. The deluxe version lights out in X's. And finally, there is Lights Out 2000, which looks exactly like this, only a lot more space agey, and you get red and green lights to worry about. I did find a website where you can play Java games versions, whatever that means, and I shall post it on the right if you feel like checking it out. Okay, if I had to grade this thing, I was going to give it 5 out of 10. Because, well, it's a puzzle game. If you're not really into this sort of thing, you're not really going to like this, but if you are, you will. But this particular version, I am giving nil more, because it doesn't work. And go away. Okay, that's all from me. Remember, if you want to save energy in your home, whenever you leave your room, be sure to turn the lights out. Oh, that was a really bad joke. I do apologize.